Today, continuing my last class from class 6 General Science, Separation of Substances, we will be continuing the half done topic, the methods of separation. Okay, but before we continue the remaining methods of separation, let us just have a look at the recap of our last class. Okay, in our last class we have learned about pure substances. What are pure substances? What are mixtures? Okay, and we also have learned the reason for separating the components of a mixture. Then we have discussed some of the methods of separation, okay, which are hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, and magnetic separation. Okay, these were some of the methods of separating components of a mixture. Now, continuing the same topic, let us discuss some more important methods which are being used to separate the components of a mixture. Okay, so the next is sedimentation and decantation. Okay, now what is sedimentation? The process in which heavier particles settles down at the bottom of a container in the mixture of a solid and a liquid. Okay, when we mix some water into some pebbles kept in a container, okay, you see that the heavier particles, they settle down at the bottom. Okay, since the pebbles being heavier than water, the pebbles settle down at the bottom of the container. So this process is called sedimentation. Okay, then what is decantation? Now, once the heavier particles settles down at the bottom, which are also called the sediment, okay, the heavier particles that settle down at the bottom are called sediments. Once the sediment settles down at the bottom, the water above the sediment is being removed, okay, by throwing it out slowly. This process is called decantation. Okay, now to define decantation, it is defined as the process of removing the liquid from the above sediment in a mixture is called decantation. All right, and the liquid which remains over the sediment is called supernatant liquid. Okay, is called supernatant liquid. You must remember these terms. Okay, these are very important. Okay, so this is another way of separating substances, sedimentation and decantation. Okay, then the next comes filtration. Okay, it is again a very important method where we separate two substances from a mixture. All right, filtration, as you all know, is done mostly to filter water, drinking water. Okay, now what is filtration? The process in which an insoluble solid is removed from its mixture with a liquid is called filtration. Okay, so when we take some water, the water, some impurities, insoluble solids might be there, so that water is being filtered. Okay, where a filter paper is used to separate the insoluble solid particles from the water. What happens is that when the water is poured over the filter paper, the liquid, it allows the liquid to pass through and it retains the insoluble solid particles. Okay, this process is called filtration. and the liquid obtained after filtration is called filtrate, and the solid that remains on the filter paper is called the residue. Okay, these are also another important terms, you must remember it. All right, then the next comes evaporation. Evaporation, what is evaporation? You all have learned it since your lower primary classes. Okay, so what is evaporation? Process of change of water into its vapor is called evaporation. Okay, so now how this evaporation is used to separate substances from a mixture, let us see. Now this process is used to obtain salt from seawater. Okay, sea waters are being stored in large shallow fields, okay, where it is the water, sea water is left all alone for few days to evaporate. Gradually, due to the sun's heat, all the water they evaporate, okay, and leaves behind the solid salt. Left behind salt is collected and being purified for our daily use. Okay, so evaporation is also an important process which is used to separate substances. All right, so these were some of the methods of separation of substances which are being commonly used in different parts of the world. Okay, so I hope that now you all have understood why we need to separate substances and how separation of substances are being carried out. Okay, so from this class, that's all. Thank you.